My name is Ben Alexander. I am an ordained minister. I specialise in dealing with the occult. This started because of the death of my father many years ago, screaming, "Please God, don't let me die," and I was terrified. And eventually I got into spiritualism, the belief in contacting the dead. And then into spiritualism, this led into witchcraft. Then finally I became a Christian and I found 100 scriptures against what I was doing. But I have been working now for the last 40 years. I have a website. It's called espministries.com, and I deal mostly with people who are into spiritualism and witchcraft of every description. I've been doing that now for the past 60 years, so I do know what witchcraft is, and I have written a book. It's called Out from Darkness. I was ill quite a bit. I suffered a lot with headaches. This was a problem that I had. And then I was suffering with not only headaches but lots of colds, and I just wasn't feeling well quite often. And then one day my daughter suggested, why don't I go and see Dr. Jim? And he started muscle testing me with, and it was quite interesting because he was giving me these herbs and supplements, and I was feeling better. Not only that, I also had some problems with my breathing, and I had an operation. A stent was put in me, and I was given Plavix, and I began to bleed a lot with my hands. And of course, being a minister and speaking all over the nation, and in fact I've spoken all over the world, people would shake hands with me and I would bleed. And I wasn't very happy with this Plavix, and I kept looking at the ads that were coming on the commercials, and it started off real good, and then they had to tell you what was wrong with you with the side effects. And I could tell through those side effects, and I gave it up. And I started having my supplements, and no longer am I bleeding. I feel strong, and also I feel strong in myself, and my headaches are gone, and I'm healthy. I mean, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Now, when it comes to witchcraft, I'm afraid that the medical doctors, and they are good for broken bones and things like that, but when they start giving you what we call the pharmaceuticals, and reading and hearing what these the side effects was devastating. And then as a student and a Christian and a study of the occult, the Bible tells us in Deuteronomy 18:10 that we should not practice sorcery. Now the Greek word for sorcery is pharmacia. This is where you get your root word of pharmacy. And actually, the medical doctors, whether you like it or not, they are practicing sorcery. That is pharmacy, and the side effects are devastating. And Revelation 22:15 says that sorcerers will not enter into heaven. Now this is kind of a little bit scary when you think about it. And what I've been having, applied kinesiology, which was muscle testing and was working. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. I am now 90 years old, and I'm feeling better than I ever felt in my whole life. 50 years ago, when I was 40, I feel better now at 90 because of my muscle testing, and I'm having the right herbs and the right food, and I'm living better. And so I am happy with Dr. Jim, and I want to thank Dr. Jim. That's nothing against the medical doctors, the profession, that's okay for certain things, but I thank God for muscle testing, applied kinesiology, because it works, and that's all that matters.
Hi, my name is Paige, and when I met Dr. Jim, he introduced me to a new way of testing people through a muscle test, and I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to his ideas, his different way of treating patients. So when he did the test, I could right away feel a difference between when my arm felt strong and when it was weak. And he has done allergy treatments using this method, and I feel like that it worked for me because one example was I was having sinus problems. I felt like they were seasonal. Every fall and winter I was stuffy and had sinus infections from this, and after having the allergy treatments, I've now gone 6 years and I have not had any other sinus problems that resulted from just the seasons changing. So I know that that changed and was a result from the allergy treatments. There's no other explanation for that for me. And the 6 years that I have been seeing him, I have not needed to take any medications of any kind, whether it's over the counter or prescription. So we definitely feel better about that. I had side effects from taking even just over the counter medication, and I would dread taking them, and so I'm very happy to say that I no longer have to suffer any side effects, and I feel healthier than I've ever felt. He also helped me with some motion sickness I was having. I got motion sickness very easily, whether it was in a car, went on a cruise and had seasickness, but mainly the car was an issue because I'm in a car all the time. And I didn't even know that there was something he could do about it, but he said, sure, let me show you. And he did one of the treatments on me, and I haven't been dizzy since. And it seems crazy that that could happen, but it's the truth. I haven't been dizzy in a car, or I've been on a cruise since then and didn't need to take anything for that. So I would say there is definitely something to this muscle testing. It's painless, it's easy, it's fast. You get an instant result. You don't have to wait for a test result to come back. So I'm very happy to have been introduced to the muscle testing, and I can't think of any reason why I would ever want to change that.
Hi, my name is Jeff. We first came to Dr. Jim about 7 or 8 years ago with a multitude of things that we were kind of seeking out. We'd read some books and things, and we came into Dr. Jim, and one of the first things that we kind of wanted to do was, our son was diagnosed with ADHD. We'd had him on Concerta for about 2 years when we had come into the office. Through some muscle testing that Dr. Jim had done, and through some change in the diets that we did, my son was completely off Concerta with no problems whatsoever. He continued to be on AB honor roll until this day. 7 or 8 years later, he's in high school, still on AB honor roll and doing very well. Some of the other things that we actually came in for was, one, I was very allergic to the pollen in fall and spring. We cleared all those allergies through muscle testing, and one of the big things was cut hay. My parents live out in the country, and they'd go and cut the hay, and I couldn't even go outside. Had to put eye drops in and take all sorts of over-the-counter medications to kind of cure the allergies. And told Dr. Joe about it. We did some muscle testing, and the next time we went, they cut the hay again in my parents' field. I actually was able to get on top of the hay bales and jump from hay bale to hay bale with the kids playing around out there with no problems whatsoever. Some of the other things that we've done, actually when we first came in, I had a herniated disc. I'd actually been to the orthopod once to get an epidural, and was going in for the second treatment, and they say after the third treatment then you have to have surgery. So I got in for the first treatment, was getting ready to go into the second one. Came in, saw Dr. Jim, we talked about it. He actually used something called a percussor, fixed my herniated disc. I actually came in 3 separate times to get him to do the treatment on it. Haven't had a problem with my back since. So, Dr. Jim has helped us with everything from, a nutritional value, muscle testing, learning allergies, and just everyday problems like a herniated disc.